We think of kaiju or giant monsters in Japanese, we often refer to some of the most iconic monsters in cinematic history. The most popular example being Godzilla, obviously, who's built a reputation and has made nearly 40 movies. Other monsters such as Cloverfield, the kaijus from Pacific Rim, Gamera, and maybe even King Kong, if you think he's a giant kaiju. However, there is one kaiju that I do think is very underrated, that I think not a lot of people talk about as much as some of these other big names, and I do think should go on these big names. Yeah, I am talking about this one kaiju that I think you all know, I'm pretty sure. And that kaiju is the Giant Claw. Oh yeah, the giant claw. What a classic monster design, and one of the most classic monsters in cinema history. This is cinema gold, this monster's design. This is why this is the most underrated monster, you say? Well, that's because it's universally hated by audiences and critics. Jeff Borrow, who starred in the movie, did go to the premiere of this movie, and he left the theater disappointed for some odd reason. I don't know why he left, but I don't think he should star in giant monster kaiju films. But anyway, onto the Giant Claw. I do think this is the most underrated monsters in cinema history. I mean, it's a giant monster with a freaking mohawk. I mean, which kind of monster has a mohawk in the movie that you've ever seen? I mean, that's one awesome looking mohawk there. And as well as the googly eyes as well. I mean, these eyes, while yeah, they look threatening enough, I do think this is the most scariest too in monster design. I mean, this is so scary of how it looks, particularly the eyes, I reckon. Even the teeth, they look so jagged and disgusting, which is why I think this is definitely hands down the most scariest monster design, which is why I think it's a bit underrated in my opinion. As well as this monster being an alien. Sure, we have a lot of alien monsters or alien kaiju throughout cinema. However, this is just on a whole other level. I mean, imagine this thing flying in space. Man, I would love to see that in the film. Why didn't they show it? Probably due to budgetary reasons. I mean, the poster guy even hated it, that he didn't even show the head of the creature on the poster. How embarrassing is that? I mean, give the Giant Claw some love. As for figures, the Giant Claw has very underwhelming figures. There has been nothing except for this, model kit that has been released. Seriously, Bandai Movie Monster Series, give the Giant Claw an action figure. I want to see him go up against Godzilla -1 Bandai figure. It would be so awesome. Speaking of Godzilla -1, Takashi Yamazaki, I reckon you should put Godzilla vs. the Giant Claw. Or maybe just make a remake of the Giant Claw. Screw Rodan, put Godzilla fighting the Giant Claw in your next Godzilla -1 movie. That would be so awesome. That's if you are making a Godzilla -1 sequel. Anyways, at the end of the day, the Giant Claw is definitely one of the most underrated kaiju in cinema history. I just really don't get the hate for him. I mean, I guess the movie is kind of badly acted, but I mean, you could say that about most kaiju movies out of anyway. But what do you guys think of the Giant Claw? It is one of my favorite kaijus, and I do think the Giant Claw deserves some love. I reckon that the Giant Claw gets a 1000 out of 10. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next adventure.